Please rise for the standing of our national anthem and remain standing for our commencement invocation. Gentlemen, please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please bow your heads for the invocation. Our most gracious Heavenly Spirit, we come to you with joy in our hearts and thank you for bringing us to this, our graduation. We offer our deepest thanks for the focus, direction, strength, and endurance which led to the success of these Indian River State College graduates. You created the knowledge and understanding they have mastered. You have created the curiosity and capacity of learning which led them in pursuit of an education. As we look around this room, we are especially thankful of the parents, partners, siblings, teachers, friends, and loved ones who encouraged our graduates, counseled them, and extending a helping hand when needed. Today, as we honor these students, we also pray for tomorrow, as this graduation opens another door to another time. Just as you have led them in the past, please lead them now into the future. Guide them in making a lifelong mission of positive impact on others they meet. We ask these and all blessings in your name. Amen. Please be seated.
Honored graduates, parents, faculty, administrators, staff, and guests, welcome to the Indian River State College's 2018 commencement ceremony. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce you to the policy makers of our institution, our Board of Trustees, appointed by the Governor of the state of Florida to work with this college and to meet the needs of our community. First of all, from Indian River County, we have Mr. Mark Fura. If you would please hold your applause, let me introduce all of them. From St. Lucie County, Mrs. Susan Karen. From Okeechobee County, Mrs. Phoebe Rollerson and Mrs. Krista Luna. And from Martin County, Mrs. Vicki Davis and Mr. Tony George. Please join me in a round of applause. As a time-honored tradition here at all of our commencements, at this time I would like to ask any woman or any man who is a veteran or is currently serving in the United States military to please stand and let us recognize the service that you've given to our country. Okay, students, we're now going to turn our attention to you. I'll tell you a few things about your class. In 1962, the graduating class at Indian River had 28 graduates. Pretty small, huh? This year we have 3,951, so you're the largest graduating class ever. Now, honor and embrace that recognition because it probably lasts only 1 year. We're getting larger and larger, but enjoy it right now. In a few moments, you're going to be coming across the stage. We'll do our dead level best to get your name right, but take your time as you come across. I know it's nerve-wracking to come in front of such a large group. But I will shake your hand, each and every one of you. I will present you your college diploma. So I have had situations in the past where somebody got pretty nervous and went right by me. I don't know if they ever graduated, they just took off without the diploma. So please slow down and let me hand you your diploma. A couple of things I'd like to say, and I'm going to turn it over to our speaker, but this is a transformational moment in your life. To be a college graduate is the dream of so many people, and it was your dream, and now you've accomplished this dream. I want to be sure that you understand today that this is what you are as a college graduate. But more importantly is who you are. So you take those skills and you mix that with integrity, you mix that with the values that you stand for, and you will be unstoppable going forward in your life. You are different people than when you came to us. You are a better communicator right now than you were when you first walked in the door. You know far more about technology and how to use it and how to make it work for you than you did before you came in the door. You know more about global, social, cultural, and ethical viewpoints about our community. You know more about civic engagement, and above all, you are better critical thinkers and problem solvers, and that's what you're graduating into, a world where you have to do a lot of critical thinking and solve a lot of problems. The other thing I will say to you about your class is in 2015, some of you may have been on the 2-year program, some of you may have been on the 6-year program. I don't know how long you've been with us in all cases, but in 2015, through the Aspen Institute, which is a reviewer of colleges like ours across the country, our college was ranked in the top 10 colleges in the nation. Last year, Last year, your college made it to the top 3 colleges in the nation. It will be awarded again in 2019, in which we hope your college goes to number 1 in the nation. And this is out of over 1,100 colleges like ours that are scattered across the United States. The reason I'm telling you that is many times the students don't relate necessarily to the quality of a college and what you actually, the part you play in a college. Your involvement in your curriculum, your involvement with your faculty members, your involvement with clubs and organizations across our college has made our college in the top 10, in the top 3, and I think it'll take us to the top 1, and we appreciate you as students dedicating yourselves to that. The other thing I do want to recognize, and I want you to have the opportunity to thank a very important group. First of all, I want you to always say thank you to all the people that came and filled up these stands today, that are seated in this all around you. That has been your support group. Never miss an opportunity to say thank you. The other group, you may not have liked them every time you had an encounter because they were hard on you. They tutored you, they taught you, they counseled you, they advised you. In some cases, they found you a job. And that is the best faculty in this country because that's another reason why we're ranking so high. So I'd like for the faculty to please stand, and I would like for you to give a round of applause to your faculty. Now I have the honor of presenting to you our keynote speaker today. In December of 2017, Mr. James F. McDonald was selected to serve as Assistant Secretary for the Department of Homeland Security's Countering Weapons of Mass Destruction Office. The mission of the newly established office is to counter attempts by terrorists or other threats, actors in the theater, so to speak, to carry out an attack against the United States or its interests using a weapon of mass destruction. Prior to this position, Mr. McDonald was appointed by President Trump in June of 2017 to serve as the director of DHS, Domestic Nuclear Detection Office. Mr. McDonald is a recognized expert in the area of weapons of mass destruction. He enlisted in the Navy in 1975 and retired as a commissioned officer after 25 years of service in special operations and counterterrorism. After leaving the Navy, he founded the National Security Programs Business Unit at Oak Ridge Associated Universities and managed a terrorism-related national security activities. Mr. McDonald has senior executive experience in the private sector and the federal government, where he served the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Energy, and also served in the White House. Following September the 11th, 2001, Mr. McDonald became the founding director of the Office of Energy Assurance, which is responsible for the protection of our nation's energy infrastructure. As a result, he was tapped by President George W. Bush to help create the Department of Homeland Security and develop many of the infrastructure and national protection plans which protect us and which exist today. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause and a warm Indian River welcome to Mr. Assistant Secretary James McDonald.
Well, good morning, everybody. So I was asked to keep this under 2 hours. I assume everybody got a sandwich on the way in. So in the interest of Washington coming to help, we'll try to make things as efficient as possible. Special thanks to the Board of Trustees, President Massey, Vice Presidents, the deans, family, friends, and most important, the class of 2018. It's a great honor to be here. It's been 33 years, so 1985, so we don't have any math majors, since I received my first college degree. That was an associate's degree. I earned that when I was in the Navy, and it was a mix of technical schools that I'd gone to in the Navy, night classes, community colleges around the country, and that started my sort of moving up the ranks in my career. It wasn't until 2002, when I graduated from Georgetown University with a master's degree, that I actually went to a commencement. I had been sort of a distance learning kind of guy before computers were around. But this is great because this is the second time that I've got to wear this outfit. And this is an awesome school. I got a tour of it last night after I flew in. And I had no idea the amount of technical capability that you guys were learning here. I saw the little nuclear lab that's over there talking about SCADA systems. President Massey mentioned right after 9/11 when I went into the government, the energy sector was what I was responsible for, included nuclear power. And we realized then that digital control systems that control all of the electric grid, dams, power plants, those types of things, huge vulnerability. It's one of the main focuses right now of the Department of Homeland Security, and you guys are at the cutting edge of learning how to manage, fix, track those things. So it's really impressive. I really wasn't aware that was all happening down here. So I mentioned the associate's degree in my career path, in particular because I understand the sacrifice that a lot of you have made to get where you are today. People have families, people are working, some of you are holding full-time jobs, some of you are raising families while you're trying to go to school and complete a degree, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot of dedication, and you should be extremely proud of yourselves. I'm sure there's veterans among you today. The President already acknowledged them, but I want to also say thank you for your service, and particularly as a veteran, thank you to the families of the veterans who put up with the deployments and take care of things when folks are gone. Regardless of your circumstances, reaching graduation is certainly a noble accomplishment. So, lesson number one in this, you've already learned how to succeed. You're sitting here because you're successful. Hold your head high and remember that through the rest of your career because it's going to mean a lot. Don't go into something thinking that you're not successful. You are sitting here by virtue of being a leader in the country. Less than 40% of the people in the United States of America will achieve what you have today. So that is a huge start. No matter where you are in your career, that's something you should always hold your head high up. And especially coming out one of the top colleges, that's pretty impressive too. I didn't know there was an art group here, but I noticed the top of some of the hats out there. You're looking pretty good. And also I can tell when you're going to sleep because they're going like this. So this is really impressive to be able to stand up here in front of you guys today. In preparing for this day, I had to go do a little homework. So you think you're graduating, but I just said I had to go do homework and then I had to write a paper. So it never ends. I had some help. I have a staff that wrote a speech for me, and then I completely changed it and took it to my wife and said, what do you think? And then she changed it, and so that's pretty much what I'm going to end up saying. Because at the end of the day, she's the boss, and there might be a video of this somewhere. So many of you are about to embark on careers as first responders, educators. I saw somebody with a nursing logo painted on the top of their hat coming in. My wife's a nurse. Maybe business entrepreneurs, technologists. A lot of talent in this room. I would also encourage you to continue that network as you go forward. You're all going to help each other in the future. I don't know if Rolodexes exist anymore, but having a Rolodex, when you have a question and you can pick the phone up, or maybe it's in an iPhone where you can scroll your contacts and say, who do I know that knows something about digital control systems? And it'll be somebody in that contact list, or somebody that's a nurse, or somebody that has gone through the public safety courses. So keep that network alive and build on it as you go forward. So the degree you get today is a key, and it's like a key that opens doors. The chaplain mentioned doors and doors opening in the benediction. that key is just one that's going to be on a key ring as you get older and you get more experience. But it opens doors. And that's the most important thing to walk away with when you think about one of the things that you're achieving today is you've got a key that a lot of other people don't have, and it's going to open doors for you. But you're the one that has to walk through that door and take advantage of what's on the other side of it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my career, some of the key things that gave me opportunities, and when I took those opportunities, what the results were. My professional journey started at 17 years old when I went in the Navy, largely because I was bored with school and I just didn't want to go to school anymore. I was done with high school. I was like, okay, no more schools for me. My cousin was a Green Beret in the Army, Special Forces. He seemed like he was having a lot of fun. So I was like, okay, I'll go do the military thing. Little did I know that the Navy, when they have you take all those tests to start, they're actually deciding what schools they want to send you to. Had I known, I might not have done so well on the test, but at any rate, I did my best, and I ended up in an advanced electronics program. And it was great. The Navy sent me to school for about a year and a half, and I learned digital computers. And digital computers in my day was a mainframe computer bigger than this podium with 64K memory. So it's advanced quite a bit. I began to get bored, though, after a while. So I was in the electronics business, and it was interesting, but it was sort of redundant after a while. I had a good time, but then I said I need to do something else. So I thought I would take what I'd learned and go back to school and get some college education. And so I started taking electrical engineering classes. And I really thought I'd be an electrical engineer. I'd finish out my stint in the Navy, get a bachelor's in engineering, and go into that. And so I took advantage of the fact that the Navy offered classes where I was. I just knew it was a good idea to keep learning. So I started doing that. And the lesson number 2 there really is always think about your options and continue to prepare yourself, because you never know what's going to come around the corner in the future. So the more you can prepare yourself as you move forward, the better your opportunities are going to be and the better likelihood you can accept them. So I started the electrical engineering route, and I got through a year or so of classes. And then I had one class, it was Great Lakes, Illinois, I'll never forget it. It was one of the higher level courses, and it was called Engineering Circuit Analysis. And it was one of the courses that people didn't like because there was lots of formulas and study. And so first night of class, this sort of chunky looking professor comes in, sort of mid-20s, and a little frumpy looking. I'm sitting there going, okay, this is cool. And we had you guys probably don't even know what a chalkboard is, but we had chalkboards. So this guy comes in the classroom, and he starts writing formulas on the board. And I'm sitting there going, uh-oh. And he just keeps writing formulas, and he'd erase it with his hand and wipe his hands on himself. And after about 2 hours, this guy looked like Frosty the Snowman. And he was completely covered in white, and the chalkboard was completely covered with formulas. And at that time, I decided I was going to become a Navy diver. So, lesson number 3, stay flexible. You never know what's around the next corner. So going to Navy dive school is about as far away as you can get from electrical engineering. I do underwater welding, cutting, literally diving with the deep sea helmet on, real cool, adventurous kinds of stuff. And so what I didn't know, though, is I was thinking about this career change, how the base stuff that I learned in electronics was going to help out in the future. So unfortunately, in life, it's not always so easy to just decide to change your career. In the Navy, it's no different. I put in a request, and I said, hey, I want to go to Navy dive school. And I don't know how many minutes it was before I got it back, but I got a pretty prompt no. Like, you're not going to Navy dive school. We trained you to work on computers, electronics, and weapon systems. That's what you're going to do. So I was pretty bummed out. I thought I was destined to be Frosty the Snowman, and I was a little concerned. But I worked pretty hard, and the commanding officer of the ship I was on knew that I got turned down for dive school, and I wasn't happy doing what I was doing. So he offered me the opportunity to learn how to drive the ship. Now, that's sort of a big deal for an enlisted guy on a Navy ship to be able to be on the bridge in the officer's watch rotation. So this was a guy that opened the door for me, who saw some potential, young guy that was a little dissatisfied, probably thought I was going to get out of the Navy, which I probably would have, and he gave me an opportunity. I took that opportunity and I became qualified as an officer to deck on a ship. Now, none of this was planned, but I was the first enlisted guy in the Navy since World War II to be qualified as an officer to deck of a major combatant ship, as a helicopter carrier. That turned into another opportunity, which was I got selected to be Sailor of the Year for the amphibious group for the East Coast of the United States. So it was about 20,000 sailors. But I got picked not because I was the smartest guy or certainly not the best looking guy. It was because people saw me doing things that were just a little bit different, taking that extra step, sort of like you guys are doing today. You're doing something you don't have to do. You've earned this. You've worked for this. And people recognize that. So that key that I was talking about, you keep adding to that. So I did that. The takeaway on that one, the lesson number 4, is take opportunity when it comes. Be prepared for it, and when somebody says, hey, I have an opportunity for you, take that opportunity. So I became qualified as officer to deck. I was basically in charge of driving the ship. It was pretty cool. But so what ended up happening was the Sailor of the Year process. It's sort of like a beauty pageant without the beauty. A lot of interviews and sort of selection panels, and they pick from about 10 sailors on each coast, and it sort of necks down. Well, one of the guys that went through that process with me was already a Navy diver. And so he and I spent all the time talking. And at the end of this process, I got a letter from an admiral in the Navy, and he said, hey, anything that you want to do in the Navy, you can do it. You just put in your request. And so guess what I picked? I said, I'm going to be a diver. He said, if I wasn't going to be a regular diver anymore, I was going to be an explosive ordnance disposal diver, because that's what this other guy did. So what EOD divers do is, in the Navy, you go through Navy Deep Sea Diver School. Then you go through about a year of school where you learn everything there is to know about all the munitions ever made in the history of the universe, literally from Civil War cannonballs all the way to nuclear bombs. And so it's a lot of technical work. So guess what came in real handy? That electronics training that I had not wanted to do years before, because electricity runs everything. So knowing that and knowing how it worked made a huge difference. Now, a coincidence, you had an American hero in here yesterday as the guest speaker, Congressman Mast. He was actually an Army EOD officer, or our EOD technician, in the same special operations community that I was in, but a couple of decades later. So the fact that you get 2 bomb disposal guys, both out of special operations 2 days in a row, is pretty cool coincidence. So I went into EOD. It was a big change. So the goal was then going to be fight terrorism, work with the Secret Service, work with SEAL teams, and I'd go to Army Airborne School, learn how to parachute, then go to free fall parachuting, sort of skydiving, but with a lot of gear on. Work in small teams all over the world, and I definitely wasn't going to be Frosty the Snowman. So lesson number 3 and 4 together: stay flexible, you never know what's around the next corner, and take opportunities when it comes. So there's a continuous theme here. So the rest of my career, I did Navy EOD Special Operations missions. I was never bored, had a great time. I was scared a few times. I remember the first time I had to jump out of an airplane without being attached to anything. It was 13,000 feet above Bermuda, which when the back door of the airplane opened up, you could see the entire island down there, which was really cool from a visual perspective, but I was scared to death because I knew I was going to die. And I did jump out because I was with everybody else and they were jumping, and the other option was sit down, and that would have been horribly embarrassing. So I jumped out, I lived, but to this day I don't actually remember jumping out of the airplane. I was so scared. So I ended up with a couple hundred parachute jumps after that, and I had a good time doing it. But that first time was like, I'm not thinking it's a good idea. Another parachute jump that I thought about coming in this morning, depending on your perspective, could be a funny story. I was with a small group of folks, and we were operating in a country down in Central America, and we were going to parachute into a terrorist area where terrorists have been operating. And so we go to the airfield, and there's an old World War II DC-3 sitting on the runway, and I'm thinking, oh, this doesn't look like it can fly very well. So we piled into this thing, and then we're in the air, and one of the guys from the host country comes back to me and goes, Jim, we have to change the airfield, or change the drop point. It's like, oh, okay. So we're going to drop into this little field, and it's really important that everybody gets into the middle of it because it's a minefield all the way around it. I'm like, okay, who makes up plans like this? You know, this is just a bad idea. The funny part of it, though, was usually when a group of guys jump out of a plane together like that, you know, they'll be spread out about as much as this room. But everybody landed right in the middle. And people almost landed on each other's heads. There was nobody landed in the minefields. Another time that I was a little nervous, I was under a ship in Pearl Harbor, nighttime, and something sort of bumped me in the back, and I thought it was the guy that I was diving with, and then I realized he was in front of me. And I realized that, so Pearl Harbor's full of hammerhead sharks. So I was thinking, oh great, you know, we're stuck under the ship in the middle of the night, dark, and there's a shark swimming around. But I convinced myself that if he wanted to eat me, he would have already. So we stayed down, we finished the job, and got out of the water. And never did figure out what bumped me that night, but I was able to remain calm and just sort of ride it out. I had to defuse a lot of bombs over the years. Ideal situation, you just blow it up where it is, but sometimes you actually have to take it apart. Again, the electronics training paid off. That stuff that I didn't want to learn was really important again. So lesson number 5, trust yourself and your abilities and don't let emotions get the best of you. The thing that'll hurt you the most when you get stressed out is letting emotions take over. Trust your training, trust your instincts, and trust the people you work with. It'll make a huge difference going forward. When the Soviet Union collapsed, I got a phone call and went off to interview to be a team leader in a SEAL team that was standing up a unit that was responsible for going and recapturing and recovering a nuclear weapon if somebody stole one or the former Soviet Empire lost one. So there was a big concern in the 90s when the United States and the Soviet Union combined used to have about 70,000 nuclear weapons. And when the Soviet Empire collapsed, their inventory controls weren't too good. So people were really concerned about where they might end up. And that's a lot of the public safety training that happens here, the radiation detector programs, those types of things, all directly relate to that threat. That's what I'm back in charge of now at Homeland Security. I spent the tail end of my career in the SEAL team and working on preventing terrorism or terrorists from getting a nuclear device. It was hard work, but the team made up of special operators, the best guys in the world. And a nice surprise this morning, retired Master Chief who runs the UDT SEAL Museum over at Fort Pierce, Rick Kaiser, came by to say hello. It's the kind of camaraderie that I probably haven't talked to Rick in 20 years, but he heard I was going to be here, came over, and big man hug, brought me a T-shirt, all kinds of cool stuff. So it's a tight community and it's a lot of fun. And as you get older, you start cherishing those relationships. It goes back to the Rolodex thing I mentioned earlier, or smartphone. So when I was in this team, I had a few different kind of opportunities open up. But one of the things was we wore civilian clothes. We didn't wear uniforms. We traveled around the world. And one day I would be in a rubber boat diving. The next day might be jumping out of an airplane, and then the following day in Washington, D.C., talking to diplomats and senior political people. Never really knew what I was going to be doing. But after about 4 years of doing that, I got offered a job to come to Washington and help create a domestic nuclear counterterrorism program. I left the Navy right at 20 years to sort of start a new career. And I hate to tell you it was more than 20 years ago, but it was. So lesson number 4, again, take opportunity what comes your way. One thing that I found that was interesting in going to meetings in Washington was the people that I were going to meetings with didn't know a lot of the technical stuff I knew, but they were much better educated than I was. And they had chose a different career path. They went to schools that were sort of social sciences and international affairs and things like that. So I decided to build on the degree. I still didn't have a bachelor's degree at that point. So I decided to go to Georgetown because that was a school they all went to. Because quite frankly, they'd say things in meetings that I thought they were nuts. But I figured if I could go to their school, then I'd figure out why they said the things they did. I still think they're nuts, but I did go. So I spent the next 7 years going to night school, working full-time, raising a daughter with my wife, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. It was a lot of work, and it was a full-time job. I was getting ready to finish, and 9/11 happened. So if you're in a counterterrorism business and you have an attack on the homeland, it got pretty busy. But I was able to get through. I had support from the people I worked with, like when I had to work on my thesis and things like that. They gave me the time. And so it was really important, but I ended up finishing it up. And so lesson number 6 is there's always more to learn. No matter where you are in life, don't ever be the person that says, I know it all, or I learned everything I need to learn. Because the world's changing all the time, especially in technology. If you think about the turnover of technological activities, you got about a 24-month cycle in computing, things like that. So after 9/11, I decided to come back to the government. I went in, so the President mentioned, I went in and helped start the Homeland Security Department. I ran critical infrastructure protection. That included the SCADA systems that I talked about. When I left there, I went to be the head of security and chief information officer for a major nuclear company. So again, the computer and electronic stuff that I had learned as a kid paid off because I was the chief security officer, but I was also the chief information officer. And I never would have guessed that in a million years, but it gave me an opportunity to become a corporate executive, make pretty good money, and it was actually a pretty easy job too. But then I left there and I went to Amtrak, and I was head of security for the railroad. That was a fun time. 22,000 miles of track across the country we were responsible for, and thousands and thousands of passengers. But after that, again, I got a little bored being in the big corporate world, so I created my own company, did a couple of startup businesses, and then I got tapped to come back into government last year. When I came in to be the director of the Domestic Nuclear Detection Office, which was sort of a sciencey thing, and they got a little bit away from focusing on the first responders like your school trains here. I got called in pretty quickly and said, we're going to reorganize it. We're going to put chemical, nuclear, biological, and some of the explosives, terrorism stuff together, and I was going to be on the hook to run it. So I spent the last year reorganizing that. But so far, my career's taken me, and I say so far because it's not over, from a 17-year-old kid with a high school diploma to a presidential appointee. And honestly, it's pretty cool to say you've been appointed by the president to be in charge of something for the country. There's no reason that every one of you sitting in here couldn't be up here someday saying the same thing, because you've already started that path. My selection was based on experience I gained from all those opportunities I'd been offered, and 3 things happened repeatedly. I kept learning and gaining more experience. Somebody opened a door offering an opportunity. None of us ever gets ahead without somebody helping. It might be family, it might be professional, it might be a professor, it might be somebody you haven't seen in 5 years that calls you up and says, hey, there's an opportunity here, and I remember you, and you're really good at this, what do you think? And I said yes, and I think saying yes is one of the most powerful things you can do in life. When somebody says there's an opportunity, if you can take it, take it. My story's not unique, there's many others. There's over 300 million citizens in this great country. The United States is truly, truly the land of opportunity. So the Declaration of Independence lists 3 unalienable rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When Thomas Jefferson penned the Declaration, he talked about the pursuit of happiness. He didn't say there's a guarantee for happiness. What's supposed to happen in the United States is the environment is supposed to be set for you to be able to succeed, for everybody equally to be able to seek challenges, take on challenges, and gain that opportunity and enjoy your life. So it's the pursuit of happiness that's available. Always keep that in mind, because you have to continue to pursue it. You have to get those doors open. You have to take those opportunities. Don't ever confuse an opportunity for a guarantee. Every opportunity has 2 parts. It's a new challenge, but you have to be prepared for the challenge. So it's a 2-part deal. One reason that college is like Indian River, essential to our society, this place trains you to be ready to take opportunities. Now, I was talking to the president earlier, and I was not aware of the placement rate for graduates here, being at the high percentage it is, which is exceptionally impressive. But there's going to be other opportunities coming down the road, and don't think because you got the first one that it's done. Think about what's coming next. Continue to prepare yourself. So as you go out into the world and pursue your goals, I suggest keep the following simple set of rules in mind. 1, be proud of your accomplishments. It's really important to walk around holding your head high and believe in yourself. And every one of you deserves to believe in yourself after today. Prepare for what might come next. Stay flexible and don't be afraid to try new things. Take opportunities as they're offered. Trust yourself and your abilities, and always keep learning. Most important, have fun. Life's an adventure. The world's a wonderful place to explore. Your adventure and your learning have just started, and so thank you and congratulations, class of 2018.
My name is Ann Decker, and I serve as the Executive Director of the Indian River State College Foundation Office. On behalf of the Foundation Board of Directors and the Indian River State College District Board of Trustees, it is my honor to stand before you today and proudly recognize the recipients of scholarships that have been provided through the college and the foundation. These scholarships are awarded each year to deserving students who have demonstrated outstanding achievement, community service, and/or leadership here at the college. The foundation scholarships are made possible through the generosity of area businesses, individuals, and community organizations. Last year, we were able to award more than 300 different privately funded scholarships. Some helped one student, some helped multiple students, and we have a few scholarships that helped more than 100 students. Last year, the foundation provided $3 million in scholarship funds to you. If you've ever received a book scholarship, a completion scholarship, an emergency scholarship, an academic scholarship, a nursing scholarship, a scholarship of any type, I want you to stand up right now so we can recognize you. Congratulations on your accomplishments, and we'll see you for your bachelor's.
Will all of the candidates for the Associate in Science degree and the Associate in Applied Science degree please rise? President Massey, I would like to present the Associate in Science and the Associate in Applied Science degree candidates that have met the requirements as determined by the faculty at Indian River State College. On behalf of the faculty, I recommend that they be awarded the Associate in Science and Associate in Applied Science degree.
Being recommended by the faculty and having completed the requirements for graduation as prescribed by the state of Florida and by the District Board of Trustees and by the authority vested in me, I hereby grant the Associate in Science and the Associate in Applied Science degree to you, with all of the rights, all of the honors, and all of the privileges that go with, and responsibilities that go with being a college graduate. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your tassel from the right to the left. You are now a college graduate.
President Massey, at this time, I wish to present the Associate in Science degree and Associate in Applied Science degree graduates. We will start with the Division of Advanced Technology. Christopher Eugene Adams, highest honors. Austin James Beard, highest honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Claude Finch Jr., highest honors, Phi Theta Kappa, emerging leaders. Irma L. Montgomery, highest honors. Alan Branctasio, highest honors. Sydney Eisinger, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Desiree Elizabeth Fulton, high honors, dual enrollment, Phi Theta Kappa. Emily Marazik, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Dominic McKaylee Vario, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Alex James Barnard, honors. Sandy Orlando Barrios, honors. Justin David Conrad, honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Brennan J. Moore, honors. Bonnie Michelle Spiegelhalter, honors. Joshua Anderson. Carrie Lynn Belzile. Rebecca Boyson. Brian Brown. Tanika Nicole Brown. Karen Patrice Bruton Lalicio. Devon Thomas Cerny. Travis Eric Kalura. Daniel Peter De Benedetto. Chloe Jerva. Tyrone Fenice Joseph Jr. Wesley Oxford Juricon. Kyle Craig Kriminger. Vincent Brian McDonald. Scott Travis McGill. William McSweeney. Luis Eduardo Medino. William Alexander Miranda. John Allen Nelson. William Cody Prescott. Jose Halgado Medrano. Hakeem Joie Spencer. Austin Stanfield. Jared James Tansky. Dylan Patrick Williams. Jeremy Christian Zuvik. We now have the Business Technology Division. Mitzi Chetram. Carl Williamson, highest honors. Mohammed Chaudhry, honors. Marlene N. Eden, honors, emerging leaders. Cynthia Barcia, Phi Theta Kappa. Virgilia Colina. Leslie Farias. Brandon Ellis French.
Thank you.
Charles Eugene Gale. Nicole Lynn Goodman. Jose Fertiz.
Thank you.
Elmano Damas. Anthony Tyrone Lully. Andre Roy McGrath. Deanna Dolores Chantel Neal. Christina Marie Paramore. Madalena Emily Pasevec, dual enrollment. Gloria Baltazar, this is now Industrial Education Division.
Thank you.
Scott Alexander Calhoun, and we also have with Scott Bonsai, that we are giving a certificate of gratitude for his support and service. Juan Camacho. Lyndon Chan. David Michael Farrell. Juana Raquel Icon. Robert Jason Hill. Jania Maza. Ana Luisa Ramirez. Nairobia Gibson Reynolds. Thank you.
The following graduates are from the Public Service Education Division. Brady Austin Hayes Loop, highest honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Daniela Mena, high honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Andrew Lewis Conglegio, honors. Melissa Dean, honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Sarah Catherine Freeman, honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Brinzy Elaine Gills, honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Samantha Lynn Mejia, honors. Bailey Ann Moreland, honors, dual enrollment. Janika S. Bess. Christina Sophia Bazo. Clarissa Calderon Vieira. July Cantes. Tia Nicole DeLeon. Meredith Ellen Donner. Alexandra C. Dorius. Andrea Figueroa. Victoria Galloway. Marlene Godinez. Daisy Gonzalez. Alicia Guest. Connor Thomas Gutman. Colton Paris Hester. Cheyenne G. Horn. Nafi Jean. Brittany L. Jones. Iris Maria Klein. Bruno Maximiliano Laluz. Tatiana R. Levinar. Amanda Martin. Stephen Ragnar Petrie. Tyler W. Rhodes. Heather Renee Shireman. Jennifer Lynn St. Peter. Anthony Stabile. Leslie Ann Stetcher. Brandon Michael Wise. Courtney Darnell Yates. The following graduates are from the Division of Health Sciences: Sochi Adeline Vargas. Sarah Irioha, highest honors Phi Theta Kappa. Amanda Marie D'Agostino, highest honors. Mei Mei Wang, highest honors Phi Theta Kappa. Tatiana Donald, honors. Callie Joan Frizzle, honors. Sylvia Renneria, honors. Leticia Soriano, honors Phi Theta Kappa. Jenna Leah Poma. Munon Swazo. Wabin William. Eve Rohan, highest honors Phi Theta Kappa. Heather Marie Lawson, Phi Theta Kappa. Maricela Rivera. Krista Lee Guy. Iona Adassa Stevenson. Amelia Ann Champion, honors. Sarah Marie Minty, honors. Amanda L. Darby. Jessica Rebecca Lorraine Hardiman. Aurelia Magdaleno, Phi Theta Kappa. Sarah Naomi Perez. Alexis Sanchez. Katrina Nanette Worsham Young. Sean Michael Vogel, High Honors. Brianna Rose Abel, Honors. Sarah Lane Cruz, Honors Phi Theta Kappa. Jose Luis Feliciano III, Honors. Christopher Robert Kahitibi, Honors. Seth Paul Paniotu, Honors Phi Theta Kappa. Brian Christopher Prosick, Honors. Anthony Joshua Tornator, Honors. Christina Echeverria. Ashley Grady. Marisol Overa Olguin. Aubrey Lindley Roback. Misty Dawn Stahusky. Ellis Barrett Winnipole. Kelly Marie Talbot, Honors Lambda Nu. Thomas J. Crosson. Danielle Nicole Dodge. Christian Navarro Galang. Shelby McCall Jin, Lambda Nu. Christina Denise Glass, Lambda Nu. Benjamin James Kincaid, Lambda Nu. Thomas Joseph Lairfield, Lambda Nu. Shannon Julene McCormick. Gina Marie Rafter, Lambda Nu. Taylor Terranova. David Kyle Fannin, Honors Phi Theta Kappa. Kyle Coons, Honors. Norshaleen Antoine. Christopher Allen Corbett. Julia Scott Dio. Katrina Bortillo Gonzalez. Jennifer Ann Race. Joseph Robert Stuck. Melissa Ann Toro.
Katerina Kopilova Radomski, highest honors. Silvana L. Ruiz, highest honors. Nikki Taylor Lerman, high honors. Bailey Janae Bell E. Flor, honors. Aaron D. Coleman, honors. Christine Lauren Day, honors. Marisol Franco, honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Kyle Augustus Hartsuk, honors. Emily Ann Jones, honors. Morgan Catherine Lowther, honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Madison Marie McCohen, honors. Jennifer Hope Murray, honors. Edward J. Morley, honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Lauren Ann Quackenbos, honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Marianne Elizabeth Amber Sheffield, honors. Chad Anthony Zylenga, honors, Phi Theta Kappa. Joseph Neffy Barber. Abigail Dawn Barnhart. Veronica Bass. Laura Belliard. Danielle Nicole Brewer. Melissa Ann Busek. Amber Nicole Burt. Ashley Buss. Gina Castillo VJ Goss. Amanda Ann Selly. Chara Che. Angela Mornay Cole. Tara Costanzo. David Richard Sear. Aisha De Freitas. Sammy Glorabel Dominguez. Brianna Nicole Dubois. Janara Eshimendia. Alicia Lynn Edson. Tori Nicole Ferry. Susan Colleen Fick. Dante Francis. Kurt Francis. Luke David Galbica. Alexis Michelle Garcia. Heather Selena Gaudio. Daniel J. Gilly. Latoya Jefferson Godwin. Emily Sarah Graber. Raven C. Hamilton. Abigail Olivia Harmon. Cheryl Lane Harris. Yaritzi Hernandez. John Scott Hutton. Perpeti Antoine Jabwin. Elodie Jean Baptiste. Brianna Lynn Jennings. Ashlyn Renee Kalivahea. Jennifer Dawn Kaiser. Emily Ann Lawrence. Heather Alexis Lorino. Philip William Loveridge. Brittany Danielle Macy. Carl Jerry Marcel, Phi Theta Kappa. Maya Melissa Marcel. Annette Marmoli Ho. Viviana Masueda Vallejo. Tina Marie McFarland. Amber Crystal McNamara. Jill Mead. Camilla Mello. Deborah Millar. Rachel Dawn Miller. Jordan Alexis Monroiga. Kayla Masuksa Cottrell. Tamara Janine Moyer. Jasmine Isabella Moyette. Samantha A. Murphy. Alexander McLean Nelson. Karen Donna Marie Newell. Valeria Balaam Niato Gonzalez. Josilu de Guzman Nuesca. Tara Lynn Olson. Brandy Spring Palo. Samantha Pastier. Shefania Paul. Patricia Aguilera Palejo. Yannick Michael Pelchat. Danielle Shea Pfeiffer. Stacy Quintero. Daniel Todd Rice. Carly Ray Rideau. Michelle Roger. Haley Russell. Melissa Ann Russell. Johnny Fernando Saltis Jr. Christina Louise Schneider. Brittany Noel Soire. Alexis Marie Stallings, Emerging Leaders. Natasha Renee Stubbs. Corinne Melanie Tate. Morgan Brittany Toledo. David Ronald Terrell. Natalia Andrea Vergara. Caitlin Louise Wallace. Megan Elizabeth Walsh. Elisa Weil. Annabelle Ramos. Norma Leticia Zapata. President Massey, this concludes the presentation of the associate degree graduates.
Please rise for the benediction. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. Bow your heads with me. Go now, and may passion inspire you. May injustice trouble you. May hope comfort you. May friendship nourish you. May you sometimes get it right, and may you laugh when you don't. May peace surround you, may love permeate you, and may gratitude overwhelm you. Remember your time at the river with great fondness. Take with you the knowledge you have learned, not only in the classroom, but through the friendships and interactions with the faculty and staff. May the love of family and friends that surrounds us here today be in us and among us, now and always. Amen. Please remain standing for the alma mater, which you will find on the back of your programs, led by Dr. Dale Reith. Dr. Reith?
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please remain in your places until our stage party and faculty have completed their recession from the floor. Thank you.